Can religion or faith make you a more successful person?
Hey, Tom Peng, love what you're doing on your channel, buddy. Super congrats. You know, giving your time and energy to nonprofit business channel. Look, man, keep driving that audience. So, Tom Peng, look forward to spending some time with you. I know you got the right mindset, so I'd love for you to share some of that from the big V. God bless, be great. 10X.
So, I have chosen to be an atheist, or more accurately, that I admit I don't know the answers to everything, and therefore I cannot decide whether God exists or not. So I choose to keep my mind open. And that's a choice that I made early on in my life, in my 20s even, right? And I did not come to this decision very easily as well, like, because I took the problem of whether to be religious or not very seriously. I actually read the Bible. I actually read many texts from many different religions. I even read the manifesto from Karl Marx, right? It's not religious, but like when I study something, I take it very seriously, and I try to understand what it says, and then make my rational, logical decision based on what I learned, right? So it's not an emotional thing for me. For me, everything is carefully considered, and I'm not going to invest in a religion until I know it actually makes sense for me, right? So I cannot believe something just purely based on faith. That is really what we're going to talk about today, right? If you believe in a religion, right, then you're probably going to believe it based on some kind of faith. You believe it because you believe it. You don't really need any evidence. And for some people, that's not acceptable. Like me, I need to see evidence. If you want me to believe there are ghosts, I need to see it. I need to feel it. I need to know there's actually evidence for its existence, right? If I can't see it, touch it, fuck it, I don't know. And I will choose to have an open mind. But I am not gonna believe something just because somebody says it must be true. When I was in my 20s, I studied many things, different texts from different religions, because I want to decide whether I want to be religious or not. The more I look into the religions, the more I realize it's absurd, right? I know this video is going to probably get me into a lot of trouble, because probably many of you are religious, and you're going to say, what the hell is Tom talking about? You don't know anything, right? But let me tell you this, right? There are so many things I can point out, but I'll just point out one thing. So in the Christian Old Testament, right? I believe it's, Genesis chapter 38, something like that. So the story goes, right? There are two brothers, right? And Onan. I don't know, that's the biblical names, right? And Enan, they're brothers. This is in Genesis chapter 38, you can look it up in the Old Testament. Was killed by God because he was a bad boy. I don't know, you can look at chapter 36, 37, find out what he did, right? But he was a bad boy, so God says, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you, and he spiked him to death, right? God is not a nice guy. God is kind of a dick, right? You see somebody he doesn't like, he killed him. And God sometimes even killed people of entire, nations. It's like genocide. God's not a nice guy according to the Old Testament, right? But anyways, back to the story. And Onan, was killed by God because was a bad boy, bad things. He did bad things that God did not like. According to the rules of the day, because was killed, now the wife of is now Onan's wife, right? So Onan will take care of widow. So one day, Onan and the brother's wife were having sex. Well, they have to do it because it's one of God's, command, right? Be fruitful and multiply. You gotta make more babies for God to, feel happy about, because there's more people on earth and when more people worship God, then that's good, right? So God wants people to make babies. So God killed Er's wife, have sex with Onan.
Now let me get this straight, Pops. You want me to marry my dead brother's wife and then bone his sloppy seconds just so you can have a grandson? I don't think I can do it.
Maybe I can convince him.
And Onan was having sex with Er's wife, and he pulled his dick out and ejaculate on the ground. Like, oh, it's in the Bible, look it up, right? And then God was so unhappy with that. Why you pulled your dick out and like put your semen on the ground? I'm gonna fucking kill you. So God killed Onan. You don't believe me? Look it up. And let me tell you, there's so many absurd stories in the Old Testament, even in the New Testament. Yeah, people say, oh, Jesus came to basically change the rules. Like, don't live by the Old Testament rules, live by his new rules of love. But you know what? I can point out like 57, absurd stories in the New Testament too. And then not just that, there's also, the Quran, there's also the Buddhist text, there's so many things that are, illogical to me. Like, if there is a God, does he really care about Onan like spewing his semen on the ground? Does he really care about that? This God, created the whole fucking universe, 93 billion light years, in our observable universe, and it's probably bigger, but we just can't see it. And the universe is so big, there's so much in it, and God in the Old Testament actually cares so much about whether he spew his semen on the ground or not. Like, I just can't believe a God is such a micromanager that he cares about where, Onan ejaculate, whether it's on the ground or inside the wife. I can't believe God is such a micromanager. I can't believe it. And plus, if, it was me, if I was Onan, I'll be fine because, I generally have a problem pulling out anyways. Like, it feels so good inside, why you want to pull out, right? Like, I actually want to make more babies, so it's okay. I don't need to pull it out. And it's not cool to ejaculate on the ground, I prefer to do it inside. So I think God would love me more. Maybe that's why God loved me so much. I don't know. But anyhow, my point is God should not be such a micromanager. And just from this story, it just seems so illogical. It doesn't make any sense. But there are so many similar stories like that. God allows, somebody's daughter to get raped because, they did not give the right number of gold to the business partner. True story. Another story in the Old Testament, right? The God actually permit the raping of the daughter if, somebody did something not good. True story. You can look it up in the Old Testament. And I think, a lot of the rules from all these religions, whether it's Islam, it's Christianity, it's Judaism, all these religions introduce so many things that are illogical. For example, how we view people that have same-sex preferences, right? Or even like premarital sex. There's a lot of ethical and moral standards that these religions impose on modern day society that are just illogical. I can't believe that. Again, God cares about people's sexual preferences. Some guy like to put their dick into another guy. Why God cares about that? Why would he? The universe is so big, it's not important, right? I mean, like, if I'm God, I don't care about it because it's not important. I like to focus on the more important things, right? Not like where do people put their dicks, right? So, and because of all these rules from 2,000 years ago, or maybe even longer, maybe 3,000 years ago, these are standards that are coming from a very old time, and we're trying to apply it in modern day. It just doesn't make sense. It imposes a lot of moral and ethical standards that really just doesn't make sense today, right? So this is why I really have a problem with religion. If you believe in a religion, then it really, causes you to not thinking logically. And in modern day, if you're in business, you're in science, in whatever, you gotta be able to think logically. And I think that's a problem for people. If they want to succeed in business or whatever, they have to have the logical thinking skills. And religion kind of just take that away from them. They cannot think logically because everything's based on faith. Everything's based on, the standard that was imposed 2,000 years ago must also be true today. And you believe it because, why? Because God tells you so. So that's why you believe it, right? And that's not logical thinking. That's not rational thinking. And once you're impaired in logical thinking, then it's really difficult for you to do things that are really important and big, right? Now, that's what I think, that's what I say, but I'm going to also give you the counter argument to that, right? I also believe that religion can actually make you very successful, because religion actually want you to believe things that they cannot prove. They want you to believe on faith. Religion says there's a God, that God is so-and-so, and you must do this, you must do that, and you believe it. Even though there's no facts, there's no evidence, and even though they tell you silly, crazy stories, and you believe it because you want to believe it. You need to believe it. You need to have something to believe. And actually, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because what's Tom's number one rule? Thought becomes reality, and also applies to God. If you believe there's a God, you're going to believe there's a God, and you know there's a God. And that's why when you talk to religious people, you can't convince them because they believe there's a God, and therefore there's a God, right? And if people use that kind of faith in their business, in their professional career, how much power they would have, right? If they believe, I will do whatever it takes to become successful, I believe I can, thought becomes reality, and they will make it happen. The ability to believe something even though the evidence says opposite is also a very powerful tool for anyone to achieve anything they want. So in summary, this is what I'm saying, right? Religion is stupid because there's a lot of illogical things in it. And if you believe it, if you follow it, you're going to be an illogical person, and that will actually impair you from logical thinking, and you're going to do stupid things. That's one. But two, religion is also good because it actually teaches you about faith. Faith is believing something even though there's no evidence for it. If you believe it strong enough, thought becomes reality, and you can actually make it happen. All right? So religion is good and bad, in terms of your business or career development. Use religion whichever way to help you, right? If you're religious and you believe, try to transmutate that power of belief to your business, to your career, and you really can make anything happen because thought really becomes reality. But on the other hand, if you make stupid decisions because you're not fact-based, because you don't look at the numbers, because you just based on your feelings, then maybe too much religion in your business is also not a good thing. So think about it. Don't be a fucktard. Religion can be bad or good for you, and use this information, take fucking action.